देवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवी सरस्वती व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवतीमुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी Rudraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. We are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 28th chapter, titled as Kapila's Instruction to Mata Devahuti about Devotional Service. Text number 7. Kapila Dev is instructing to Mata Devahuti about how to do bhakti. So in the previous shlokas, Kapila Dev has instructed Mata that to perform devotional service, one has to have certain qualities. So, first of the quality mentioned is that ahimsa, one should be non-violent. Ahimsa satyam asteya yavat artha parigraha brahmacharyam tapa saucham swadhyaya purusharchanam. So, for devotional service, one has to have non-violent qualification. Then one has to speak always satyam. Satyam means truthful. Then asteyam. Asteyam means not to do any stealing. Then yavad artha parigraha, not accumulating more than what is required. Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means uh, avoiding unnecessary or avoiding sexual activities which are not required for the production of Krishna conscious children. Right? So that is Brahmacharya. Then Kapiladev further is instructing to Mata Devahuti that tapaha saucham swa adhyaya purusham. Tapa means austerity. One has to have austere life. Saucham, cleanliness, having shower, cleaning the mind by chanting regular Hare Krishna mantra. Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means study of the Vedic literature. Purusha Archanam, worshipping deities of Lord. All these are important qualifications. Ahimsa, Satyam, Asteyam, Yata Artha Parigraha, Brahmacharya, Tapa Saucham, Adhyaya, Purusha Archanam. So these are important qualifications of a devotee. Then the next qualification required to progress in devotional life is Maunam Sadasana Stairyam Pranajaya Sthane Pratyahara Cha Indriyam Vishayat Manasarati. So Kapiladev is saying one must observe silence, Maunam, acquire steadiness by practicing different kinds of yogic postures, control the mind, control the breathing by pranayama, and concentrate the mind on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then the next shloka, Kapiladev had mentioned that fixing the vital air and mind in one of the six circles of vital air circulation within the body, thus concentrating one's mind on transcendental pastimes of Lord. So while we are doing pranayama exercise, our mind should be fixed on transcendental pastimes of Supreme Lord. Then we can be truly Krishna conscious and perform devotional service. Further, Kapiladev is saying in this shloka, Etaranyesha pratibhir manodustam asatpatam buddhaya yunjita shanake jita pranodati atandrita. So Kapiladev is saying to Mata Devoti, by these processes or by other true processes, one must control the contaminated, unbridled mind, which is always attracted by material sense enjoyment. and thus fix himself in the thought of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So by this all the Ashtanga Yoga process, thinking constantly about Krishna's pastimes, chanting Krishna's name, what we are doing actually, we are controlling, trying to fix the mind on Krishna. And by this way we can control the mind. Because mind is always looking after the material sense enjoyment. So the mind is contaminated with the material desires. Mind is unbridled and it is attracted always by material attractions. So one must fix the mind on Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Etaranyescha. The general yoga process entails observing the rules and regulations, practicing different sitting postures, concentrating mind on vital circulation of the hair, and thus fixing upon Supreme Personality of Godhead in his Vaikuntha pastime. So, with doing all the yogas, asanas, pranayams, that we focus on pastimes of Lord by hearing Krishna Katha. This concentration, this is the general process of yoga. This same concentration can be achieved by other recommended process. Therefore, a nature, other methods also can be applied. The essential point is that mind which is contaminated by material attraction has to be bridled and concentrated on Supreme Personality of Godhead. So usually the mind is disturbed, contaminated by material attractions. But this mind has to be purified by thinking about Krishna. The mind cannot be fixed on something void or impersonal. For this reason, the so-called yoga practice of voidism and impersonalism are not recommended in any standard yoga shastra. So some people they want to focus on impersonal aspects of Supreme. But it is very difficult to focus on impersonal aspect of Supreme. We can focus on this beautiful form of Krishna by focusing on his lotus feet, by focusing on his beautiful dress, garland, beautiful crown, necklaces. So when we see the beautiful form of Krishna, it's easy to focus. While impersonalists have no idea what Krishna looks like. The real yogi is a devotee. Real yogi is the devotee because his mind is always concentrated upon pastimes of Lord, right? So therefore, Krishna consciousness is the topmost yoga system. So among all the yoga systems, Krishna consciousness is the topmost. Why? Because it is easy to practice and easy to understand as well. Right? So that is why we should focus on Krishna. So here, again, Kapila Dev is instructed to Mata Devati that mind which is contaminated and unbridled, which is always attracted by material sense enjoyment, has to be fixed upon Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? So in this shloka, we have learned that controlling the mind is very important. Mind is very powerful. Krishna says, Arjuna says to Krishna in Bhagavad Gita that Chanchalahi Mana Krishna Pramari Balavartradam. So mind is very powerful and it runs away. So intelligence is very important to control the mind. So the intelligence has to be used to divert the mind from material sense enjoyment to spiritual. And it's a gradual process. But one has to be gradual and consistent. That is the key. So one has to chant and hear Krishna's pastimes regularly, consistently, and fixed our mind upon Supreme Personality of Godhead. So while doing all this, alertness is very important. A devotee has to be very alert while doing all the devotional services. General yoga process involves yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. So you can do these methods and control the mind actually and hear Krishna Katha and focus the mind on Krishna. So that is the ultimate object of yoga. Yoginam api sarveshu matagatentra atmana. Our ultimate purpose of yoga is to focus our mind on Lord Shri Krishna and his pastimes. And we have to avoid these impersonalized aspects of Krishna conscious people. Like people say Krishna has no form. That type of association has to be avoided. Right? So Krishna consciousness is the topmost yoga system. And if we hear about Krishna, remember Krishna's pastimes, we can go back to Krishna, go back to home, back to Godhead. So with that, we'll pause here and continue our reading Srimad Bhagavatam tomorrow. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.